Turner Tobin here at the World Dairy Expo. I'm joined by Brian Houin here. And Brian is an Indiana dairy farmer. And Brian, you run 36 robots.
Yes, we've got 36 Lely A4s that we've been running for, all 36 have been running since January, but we started our first robots February of last year.
Now, this would be the largest robot farm in North America?
Yes, largest robot farm in North America and under one roof.
Awesome. Now, a lot of robots in Canada, but obviously on a smaller scale. I'm also interested in the fact that you actually run a conventional barn as well, a couple of barns, but a double 25 parlor as well, right?
Yeah, so we run a double 25 parallel that we're milking about between 18 and 1900 cows 3 times a day. And then we also have a double 12 parallel that will milk about 700 first lactation cows.
So one of the amazing things you're doing here is you're actually comparing robots versus that conventional parlor. And I want to talk about some of your comparisons, but I guess the first question is, why robots?
Well, the first thing for the why robots is, before we had the robots, we were on 3 facilities milking 3,200 cows, and we were doing it with twice the labor as what somebody could do on a rotary parlor. And so we knew if we wanted to stay in the dairy industry long term that we needed to do something to help increase our efficiency. So initially we were going to build a rotary parlor like everybody else, and then a friend of mine who manages a rotary parlor said, hey, you really ought to take a look at these robots. And so I thought, well, maybe I should listen to him since he's managing a robot dairy or a rotary, that I should listen to him. So we started having discussions, and of course the first reasons for labor. Labor's harder to get right now. They cost more, and they're just not very reliable. And so labor would be the first issue, and then the second thing is cow comfort. It's better for the cow, allowing the cow the freedom to do what she wants when she wants to do it. And then the third thing is, I think for the consumers who are more farther removed from agriculture, it tells a better story. Yeah. And so that was kind of one of the other reasons. And it is kind of difficult though, because at the same time, when you have a conventional dairy, you show them the differences, but you say that that's the great thing about dairy or agriculture is there's not one correct way to do it.
Right. Now, what's interesting as well is it's what you've found out in comparing those 2 systems. And I just want to run through some of the things that you've noted in your presentation earlier here today. Labor. What's the labor savings? How does it shake out?
So right now, I would say we're saving 30 to 40% in our labor costs. We're running 6 milkers in the conventional parlor on 18 to 1900 cows, and then 2 scrapers, and then 2 cow pushers. Where in a robot we've got 6 fetchers a day. So when it's just to get cows milked, we're about a third less. And the wages and the hours are going to be roughly the same.
Right. Now, we should make a point that the way you've got it set up is you've got 3 robots with a pen of about 180 cows, or? Yeah,
so we've got 3 robots in a line per pen, and then we got 6 robots in a room. So, and then we just mirror image that across the barn. So we've got 6 rooms or 12 pens of roughly 180 cows.
Now, what about feed costs? There's always been some talk that it costs more to feed cows in a robot, but you haven't found that.
Yeah, and that was kind of one of the challenges that we kind of talked about going in is, it's going to increase your feed costs, but in our touring, when we started touring a lot of these robot farms, we found one here in Wisconsin that was feeding a corn gluten pellet and had been doing it successfully for 3 years, and as soon as I saw that, I said, that's what I'm doing. And, it was real simple for us because we were feeding wet corn gluten in our conventional diet. So you just take that out and feed the pellet in the robot. And we did that from the start, and it worked. The cows love it. We get the visits and the refusals that like everybody else would, and don't have to worry about acidosis and too much energy in the pellet. And so our components are good. And it's been a success for us, and it has not increased our feed costs.
What about milk production? You actually mentioned that you're a little bit ahead on milk production.
Yeah, we're seeing about 5 to 6 pounds more milk production fluid, and then if you look at energy corrected, we're probably closer to 6 to 8. And again, I'd say half of that's going to be the better cow comfort in the brand new facility, and half of that's going to be the less stress on the cow and the robot.
What about maintenance? I always say, hey, who's keeping the robots running? How does that factor in? How's it compared to a parlor?
So what I've seen this year from January 1st until the end of August is in the robots we're spending about $13 a cow a month, and in the conventional dairy we're spending about $17 per cow per month. And so I mean we're seeing that now, but it's hard to get a real direct comparison because the robots are only a year old and the conventional dairy is 18 years old. So we're going to continue to monitor that, but I don't see the gap. I don't see it going to be more expensive maintenance cost on the robot as compared to what the conventional is.